Hi guys, Trev, body mechanic from Absolute Fitness. So today I'm looking at the glutes themselves. Are they firing as they should? Now if your glutes aren't firing as they should, what will happen is you could start suffering with back pain because other muscles are going to compensate for them. So that'll have a pulling effect on the pelvis. That can create other muscles then to tighten up, and that results in your back pain. If you're a dedicated trainer and your glutes aren't firing properly, you're actually losing power output because they're the most powerful muscle in your body. So if you find, like, say you're a bodybuilder for instance and you're squatting, but your squat just doesn't seem to be getting any stronger, it could well be the fact that your glutes are not firing as they should. Okay, simple way to test it, what we do is lower back, we put a finger in the erector spinae muscle just to the side of the spine in there. I put my thumb into the glute. I'll kind of show you on this side so you can see what I'm doing. Thumb into the glute and then a finger into the hamstrings. And then from that position you have your client lying totally relaxed, and then you just ask your client to raise the leg in a straight manner as though the knees clearing the bench but keeping the leg straight. So if you can raise that for me, there we go, and that's as far as it needs to come up an inch and back down and totally relax. What should happen is this should fire first, then this, then the erector spinae. What a lot of people are finding is when they're struggling is this is firing first. This is becoming dominant. So the glute is not firing as it should. So what we need to do is we need to re-stimulate the neural pathway back to this. Okay, if we get this back firing as it should, you'll take a lot of pressure off your lower backs for those that are suffering because of postural changes to the body through our lifestyles, and by getting this back firing as it should, it'll alleviate other muscle groups from becoming tight and painful and pulling on the pelvis, which then creates shortened areas for nerves to be trapped and things like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you two exercises to correct, well, there's actually three exercises that will correct this and the progression. Okay, so there's the easy option, then the mid option, and then the harder option, which is all designed to correct this and get this muscle back being the #1 power muscle for your exercises, your general living movements, whatever. Okay, so the two exercises we're going to do to try and re-educate the neural pathway back to the glutes so the glutes function correctly. The first one is obviously a beginner's one, and it's going to be laid in a prone position, so face down. So for ladies, having a pillar under the belly. Alright, so when you're laid down flat, it's under the belly, so obviously your anatomy is in a more comfortable position. Forehead resting on a pillar as well, so you're just laid into this position. For gents, obviously you wouldn't need the pillar, wouldn't necessarily need that pad neither, but all we're going to do is we're going to lie down in a nice comfortable position with your forehead resting down, and then from that position all we're going to then do is lift the leg like that up to 90 degrees, but I need to try and keep everything relaxed. Then I want you to contract your pelvic floor as though you're trying to stop yourself going to the toilet. The moment you contract your pelvic floor, you should feel your glutes activate. But just to take it that little stage further, then I want you to think you're trying to nip a pound coin between your butt cheeks. Okay, so your glute should be really activated at that point. And that's the point then when I'm going to lift my knee. And I'm only going to lift my knee about an inch off the floor, and then I'm going to bring it back down. And then let everything totally relax. And then I go through the same process again. Clench my pelvic floor, stop myself going to the toilet, nip the pound coin, so it's really squeezing the butt cheeks, so those glutes are firing like crazy. Then at that point you're going to raise the knee up, hold for a second, and then back down. Obviously you do that both sides, and I'd be looking for about 10 reps on each leg if both glutes are not working properly. Progressing on from that, once that becomes quite easy for you, your next progression is to turn over. And then this time, from the same position, feet flat on the floor, as though you're going to go into a sit-up position. And all you're going to do this time, exactly the same technique. You're going to squeeze the pelvic floor, nip the pound coin in between the buttocks so you can feel them fired. And then from that position, you're then just going to lift the hips up. Okay? And then bring them back down. Alright, so that's your next progression. We can then take that a little stage further to make it that little bit harder. Now, just bear in mind with that exercise, we're not trying to push the hips right through, because that's not what it's about. Yeah, it's about making sure the glutes are activated before we initiate a move, when the hamstrings will then kick in. We're trying to re-educate that the neural pathway goes to the glutes first before the assist muscle. Where obviously the reason you're watching this video is because the assist muscle has become dominant and your glutes have become functionally weak. Alright, but if we're going to then take this a stage further, what I'm going to do now is, going to, same technique, stop yourself at the toilet, yeah, grab the pelvic floor, squeeze the pound coin between the butt cheeks, and then going to raise the hips up, and then I'm just going to take the leg up at the same time, keeping this on, and then come back down. Lower it back down, repeat the process, squeeze the pelvic floor, nip the pound coin in the butt cheeks, raise up, and then I'll do the same on the other leg, keeping that on, all on, and back down. Okay, so there's 3 progressions for it. The beginner's one, intermediate one, and then your advanced one. And the more you do it, the quicker this recovery will be. So if I can do them 2-3 times a day, 10 reps on each glute that's not functioning right, 2-3 times a day, then my rate of recovery to get my glutes firing could be anything from 3, 4, 5 weeks. Because it takes a little bit of time to stimulate that neural pathway back where it should be. If I'm only doing them once a day, then I could be looking at 6, 7, 8 weeks. Okay, so really it's down to you how often you do it for the speed of the recovery. You can do it more than 3 times a day, brilliant, because you're bringing that recovery time down a little bit. Yeah, you might get it done in 2 weeks then. Okay, so you now know how to do the exercises that I want you to do to correct that glute firing pattern and bring about the change that you're needing so you can function in life better or perform your weights better, so that you get more power output out of the big muscle. Okay.